Hi, I'm Matt Lacey for AdDuplex, and in this video we're going to look at adding ads to your Windows Phone app. We'll start by looking technically at what you need to do to get involved in cross-promotion, then we'll look at how to add banner and interstitial ads to your Silverlight, Universal XAML or Unity-based Windows Phone app or game. The technical steps involved in adding cross-promotion to your app are very simple. On the website you simply add an entry for your app, then create an ad unit. Then, over in your code, you're going to install the NuGet package and add the control to the page. Once that's done and the app's published, you come back to the website and confirm it's live. Optionally, you can also add a tracking call to your app. So the first thing we need to do is to add the app into our AdDuplex account on the website. So I'm in the Cross-Promote Ad Exchange section and I click on New App. I'll enter the name for the app. In this case it's My Awesome Game. We specify that this game or app is going to be available on Windows Phone 8 or above. It's not yet in the store, so I don't have a URL, so we'll create that. Now we need to add an ad unit for our banner ad, and rather than have you watch me type all the details in, I'm going to load one from a template I created previously. If you don't know how to create templates, check out our other video on creating ads. That's going to load in. Template was applied. Let's save it. Now if we go over to the code section, we've got everything we need to load it into Visual Studio and our app. So let's switch over to Visual Studio. So here in Visual Studio, I've got a very simple demo app which we're going to use to add the control to. As the web page said, the first thing we need to do is add a reference to the NuGet package. We could do that via the command line, or we could come up to References, Manage NuGet Packages, and we'll search for AdDuplex. It's the top one we want. Click Install. The next thing we need to do is to add the namespace. Let's go back to the web page and we can just copy and paste that in. We'll copy and paste for the final step, which is to add the control. The advantage of copying it is the ad unit ID and the app key are already correctly set. We just set the alignment here so it displays at the bottom of the page, which is where we want it. Then if we run this up in the emulator, we look at the bottom of the page, we'll see we're already serving ads. It really is that simple. So once we've added the control to our app and published it to the store, we need to come back to the website and we click Confirm to say that's done. OK. The other thing we need to do is add the store URL. Click the edit icon, paste that in, and we're all done. One other optional thing we could do is we could add the tracking code to our app. This will help AdDuplex tell us when users have clicked on our ad and then gone on to install the app. We just need to copy this one line again into our app. And we run it here in the application launching event. Paste it in, and we're done. Before we can add the interstitial ad to our app, we have to tell AdDuplex about the app. We do that here in the Cross-Promote Ad Exchange section of the website. We click on New App, tell it the name of the app, which in this case is My Awesome Game. We tell it the platform, which in this case is Windows Phone 8 and above. Hit Create. We need our ad unit, which is going to be an interstitial ad. And to save time, I've saved one as a template. If you want to know about loading or add templates or creating ad templates, see our other video about creating ads. Now we've got our images loaded, the file reference set. Click Save. That's all set up. If we now come to the code section, we can see what we need to add in Visual Studio. So here in Visual Studio, I've got a very simple app which I'm going to use for demonstration purposes. The first thing we were told to do by the website was add the NuGet package reference. I'm going to do it this way, clicking References, Manage NuGet Packages. We'll search for AdDuplex. Search has found it, it's the top one we want. We click Install, and that's done. Jump back to the website, we see we need to initialize the ad control. We'll copy the code, including the GUID which we need. That needs to come in our app.xaml in the launching event. Come back again. This is what we need to do to create and show our actual ad. Back again to Visual Studio. Now I'm using a button to demonstrate this. Obviously in your app you'd show it between levels if it's a game or some other appropriate point. This works well for demo purposes though. Just on the button click and we're done. If we now run this up in the emulator, click on our button and we're showing ads already. It's that simple. So once we've added the control to our app and submitted it to the store, we need to come back to the AdDuplex website and confirm that's all done. We come here and we click Confirm. OK. The other thing we need to do is add the store URL for the app. Just paste that in. And we're all done. There's one optional thing we could do. We could add the tracking code. We copy this line here, back to Visual Studio, and additionally add this to our application launching event. There it is. And what that will do is when someone installs our app after clicking on one of our ads, we'll be able to track that. Apart from that, we're all done. So before we can show banner ads in our app, we have to first register our app. We do that here on the website. Under the cross-promote heading, we click New App. We enter the name. In this example, it's going to be My Awesome Game. We specify a Windows Phone 8.1 Plus. We'll add the store URL later when the app's completed. And we click Create. Now we need to create an ad unit, which is going to be a banner ad. To save time, I'm going to load one from a template I created earlier. To learn more about templates, see our other video on creating ads. Click OK. All the details are loaded. Click Save. And if we come back up to this Code tab, we can see what we need to do in Visual Studio. Here in Visual Studio, I've got a simple demo app I'm going to use for the example. When working with the AdDuplex control in a universal XAML app, we first need to install an extension. If you haven't done this, go to Tools, Extensions and Updates, and you'd search online for AdDuplex. We're building a XAML app, so we'd install the XAML extension. You can see I've already got this installed, so I don't need to. If you need to install it, you'll need to restart Visual Studio after you've done that to correctly use the control. When that's installed, we can add the reference. If we come over to References, Add Reference. If we search within the Windows Phone 8.1 extensions, we'll see the AdDuplex SDK. We'll tick that and OK. That reference is now added to our project. We can now ready to add the control to our page. First, we need a namespace, and the easiest way to get this is to copy it from the AdDuplex web page. So here's our ad unit. Copy this namespace. Top of the page makes it easiest. Now we want the control. We'll copy this as well. By copying it and pasting it, we get the ad unit ID and the app key already added for us. Let's align this to the bottom of the page. I'll set the vertical alignment to the bottom. Then we're done. Now if we just run, Emulator's firing up. And when the page loads, if we look at the bottom of the page, we see we're already serving ads. It really is that simple. So once we've added the control and successfully submitted our app to the store, we need to come back to the website and tell AdDuplex that's done. We do that by clicking the confirm button, and we'll OK that. If we haven't already done so, we need to come back up and add the missing store URL. We can just paste that in, click the tick, and we're done. The other thing we can optionally do is add the tracking code. This will allow AdDuplex to tell us when someone installs the app after clicking on one of the ads. You'll notice here there are two sets of instructions. The top one's if you're building a Silverlight app. The bottom one is what you want for a XAML app. We just copy and paste this as instructed. Then you're done. To add interstitial ads to our app, the app must first be registered with AdDuplex. We can either register a new app, or we can add interstitial ads to an app that's already been registered and is displaying banner ads. Let's do that now. We'll click on the app, we'll add a new ad unit, specify that it's an interstitial ad. I'm going to load the details from a template I created earlier. If you want to know more about creating templates, see our other video on adding ads. See the images are there, we save, and then we come up to the code window and we see the details we need for adding the ad to our app. You'll notice the XAML instructions are above and the Silverlight instructions are lower down. We want the XAML ones. Here in Visual Studio, I've got a simple demo app that I'm going to use as an example for how to show the ad. The first thing we need to do is add a reference to the SDK we installed previously. If we right click on References, add a reference, we want the Windows Phone extension, the AdDuplex SDK. You'll see this once you've installed it. If you haven't already, there's a link on the web page. Once you've added the reference, we need to initialize the client. We'll copy the instructions from the web page and we'll add them to our application on launched event. By copying them, you'll see we've got the GUID, which is the app ID, already installed. Next thing we need is the code to initialize the ad and then display it. You'll see this has got the ad unit ID in it as well. For demonstration purposes, I'm just using a button to show the ad. In your app, there'll probably be far more appropriate places to do that than on a button click. But this is simple. With that, we can now run the app. We're in the emulator. Now if we click on the button, we'll see an ad displayed. It's that simple. Once we've added the ad to our app and submitted the app to the store, we need to come back to the website and confirm everything's been installed correctly. We scroll up and click the confirm button. OK. And it's done. Before we can add the banner ad to our Unity app, we first need to register the app on the AdDuplex website. Under the Cross Promote section, we want to click on New App, enter the name of our app, and for now, we'll look at My Awesome Game. Unity apps target Windows Phone 8 and above. We'll enter the store URL later. Click Create. We'll create an ad unit for a banner ad. To save time, I've created a template. If you want to know more about creating templates for ads, see our other video on creating ads. Now I've got all the details. We click Save, then we come up to the Code section. Here are the instructions we need. To keep this demo simple, I've got a really basic Unity 2D app with just some text on the screen. I've already built this, and it's created a Visual Studio project. It's here we're going to add the banner control. First thing I need to do is come up and add a reference to the NuGet package. We're going to search for AdDuplex. It's the top one, and I've already installed it. If we now check back to the website, we see the other instructions we need. We need to add the namespace to the page. Let's put it here at the top. Then we want to add the control. By cutting and pasting from here, we get the add unit ID and the app key, appropriate for our app. Add it into the drawing surface, rather than display it in the middle. We'll align it to the top of the page. And that's done. Now if you run it in the emulator, get to the top of the page when the app starts, and now we see our control, and we're already serving ads. It's that simple. Once we've finished our app and submitted it to the store, we need to come back and confirm that everything's set up correctly. We just click this confirm button, then OK. If we haven't already done so, we need to add the store URL. Back to the top, I'll just paste that in. Optionally, we can also add tracking code to our app. This will tell us when someone's installed our app after clicking on one of our ads. We come here to tracking code, copy this line here, back to Visual Studio, and in app.xaml.cs, on the launching event, we'll just paste our code in. It's done. Before we can show an interstitial ad in our app, we first need to register the app on the website. We do that here in the cross-promote section. We create a new app, we name it. This is my awesome game. Because we're Unity, we're targeting Windows Phone 8 and above. We can enter the store URL later. Click Create. We need an ad unit, which is going to be an interstitial ad. I'm going to load from a template. I created this earlier to save time. You can learn more about templates for ads in our other video about creating ads. See, that's loaded the store URL and the images. We save that. Now if we come back up to the code window, we'll get some of what we need in Visual Studio. To try and keep the demo simple, I've created a very basic Unity app. It just contains some text and a button. The click event of the button is wired up to a script. It just calls this method on our interop object. This interop object has been specially created as a bridge between our Unity code and our Visual Studio code, because it's the Visual Studio code that's actually going to display the ad. You can see here that we're just firing an event. We're going to have Visual Studio code which is going to listen to the event being fired and then display the ad. That's how we're going to work. This is the Visual Studio project that was created by building our project in Unity. The first thing we need to do is add a reference to the AdDuplex SDK. If we come up to References, Manage NuGet Packages, and we'll search for AdDuplex. That's the control we want, and we'll install it. Now we need to go to our page. First thing we'll need is a reference to our add control. We'll want to display the add control when the Unity code fires the event. So let's listen to that event. It's on our interop object. When the event fires, we need to show the add. It's going to be important that we try and display our control on the UI thread. So let's make sure we do that. Now if we go back to the website, we can find our code to create and show the control. The other thing we must of course do is we must first initialize the control. So in our launching event for the application, we want to make sure we initialize the client, and we're using the app key which the website provided for us. With that all done, should be able to run. That'll build now. We see our button. When we click it, we have an ad shown in our app. Very simple. Now normally when we close an interstitial ad, we might want to do something in the game in response to that. Maybe let's load the next level. Let's have a look at how we might do that. What we need to do is hook up something to when our interstitial app is closed. We have a closed event we can listen to. And we can generate something there. Now what we probably want to do is add something to our interop class where we can call and raise an event back in the Unity code, and in there we'd respond and act accordingly. When we finish our app and submit it to the store, we need to come back to the website and confirm that everything's been integrated correctly. So in summary, we looked at what's involved technically with cross-promotion, and then we looked at creating banner ads and interstitial ads for your Silverlight, XAML and Unity Windows Phone apps and games. Hopefully that was all quite straightforward and you understood everything, but if you've got any questions, please check out the support links on the screen.